Welcome back to Sprague Homestead for another day here in the chicken farm. So today is Wednesday for this week, and one thing we said last week was that we were going to get all 105 of our meat birds in, and today they came into the post office. So we cruised into town to grab the chickens, and lo and behold, they never called. We were like, are they in? Are they in? We went in. Nikki said there were 18 boxes of chickens in the post office just this morning. Why are y'all buying so many chickens? What's going on? So anyway, we got our box of chickens here, and now we're putting them into the tank. So what we've got going on is right outside here, sunroom, Nikki's putting together their long-term brooding section. So this will be a 4x8 house in this closed section, and then kind of a run-out yard here, which will be 8x8. Trouble is, she didn't get all of that done this week. Had so much other stuff going on that we were like, we better find a way to, I guess, house these chickens for at least a little bit so that she can get this outside yard together. So we decided to grab an older water tank that we just kind of had sitting around, and we are now making that into a brooder, at least temporarily, here in the sunroom. Great place for it. They can't cause too much havoc if they get out of here somehow. And what we've got is a board there. We'll put a light connected to that. As you can see, Nikki has all of our box of chickens, and Liza's definitely trying to help because it's so exciting. And so right now she's putting out all the birds, counting them as they go in to make sure we got all 105 alive, and we have chickendom.
Alright, so that is 109 birds. Jenks Hatcher usually kicks in a couple extras in case we got lost, so they gave us 4 extra, and you can't beat chickens, man. They go right to it. I mean, I dipped beaks on the first 4 so they knew where food and water is, and they learn from each other. So I would say a gallon and a half of water, which is what we roughly did, is not going to last long. But I did put some electrolytes in there. The nice thing about Jenks is that they're local, are fairly local. They're about 4.5 hours from us. So these guys hatched yesterday, and they are here this morning. So they get them to us pretty quick. So they tend to be pretty healthy, pretty happy. I have no losses in the box at all. And you can see I don't have anybody who even looks like they're, fading at all. So fingers crossed that these guys make it, but they will not be fitting in this tank for long either.
All right, so welcome to Friday. So yesterday we got, Wednesday we got the chicks. Thursday, yesterday, half day, we helped pour a concrete pad for Nikki's dad's garage, and he's going to enclose that and get rid of his, he's got a 20-foot semi-trailer that he's been hauling around for, seems like forever. He's got full. He's going to get rid of that, take everything out, put it into his garage. So we poured a pad for that so he can enclose it. Yesterday afternoon, one of the things I did, as you can see right behind, this is the drain line that's coming out from the mudroom. So I still have a little bit of work to do here, but I need to slope the dirt. You can kind of see it kind of slopes in that way. I need to build it up so it slopes out away from the mudroom. Right now I just have my drain kind of sandwiched in there and covered up so that it doesn't get dirt in there. And then I need to kind of build it up. So I'm going to put some aluminum netting or a screen over it. We'll probably put some lava rock on top of it just to, I guess, keep out a lot of the dirt and everything else. But once I get everything built up in this area, in this corner, I'll get this kind of situated now. But you can look out and see it's roughed in. I won't say it's great, but what we need to do is let it settle over time. You'll see that it should start to depress itself down in there as everything kind of settles in that way. As far as the other birds, everybody else is doing well. We did take the pad out of here, so you can see that far back right corner is missing. That's where the big pad was that now has the tank with all the chicks in it. And these guys are just steadily growing. We are moving plenty of them out from the intermediary brooder for the first week, and then we will put them in here. So these guys are doing great. You can see our turkeys there, the 2 big monsters. Those were our broad-breasted we bought just to understand the differences of how they grow versus the heritage we normally do. You can see in the left side there, there is a chocolate turkey. If I can zoom this in, there's a chocolate turkey kind of hiding right there in front of him. The hoop house dome, you can see that everything is really almost becoming too much. We picked out a lot of these older collard greens here on the right and gave those to the goats last night, so they were very happy with that. We had a fresh garden salad picked out of here that we had last night. You can see a lot of the peas are now starting to form. You've got plenty of pea pods in here, and we picked one yesterday we thought was close, and it was almost there. The peas are so delicate and sweet. It's almost too much. So much good stuff. So the chickens are missing. They got evicted out today. We took them back to the waterfowl house and moved them some of those birds around. So we now have an additional Americana breeding pair. So you have a female male in there that hopefully will start giving us good eggs there, as we are steadily getting more requests for chickens. So we're trying to do what we can to get more chickens out. Then you can see this is just the fresh stuff she planted a couple weeks ago. You've got some lettuce, you've got more peas, and she had said back in this area here she was going to put up another vine trellis, kind of like these guys have, straight across, and we're going to go crazy with peas this year so that we can freeze some, we can can some, and that we'll have plenty of peas, plus plenty throughout the year just to eat straight out of the garden until it's done. So early last week I had said I cleaned out all of our dome greenhouses and got those ready to go. So Nikki is today trying to get this, we call it Dome 2, it's the furthest one out, planted. So what she's done is she's gone out and got a scoop of the compost that we do ourselves here that you can kind of see out just out beyond the gate in that. This is a couple years of decomposition, and it comes in it almost looks like fresh dirt. It's so fine and nutrient rich that it's hard to beat, especially when you can make it here for yourself and just use it over year. So she's bringing it in here, putting it into a small bucket, and then putting it into her greenhouse, dome greenhouse here. So here's one of the beds here that already has the compost in it. You can see it's filled. The next one over it does not. It's still kind of probably about an inch or two below the surface level here. And she's got one here already done also. So this year we're planning to put in cucumbers and squash mostly in here, with some tomatoes in buckets. And those will be situated kind of like they were around the metal barrel. It keeps the heat overnight. And these guys are going to go great. So expect in the next few weeks, cucumbers and squash are going to come up and just take over everything in here. And then she's got one more bed there, and we'll just get these all the way situated around, all the way done, and then she's going to try and get it all planted today. As far as kidding goes, I think we are done for the year. And I don't even know the count. I kind of stopped counting after a while, but everybody is done except for Sugar, who is her. And I don't think she actually took this year. So we are probably done with kids. More boys than girls, but we did get a couple girls at the end, which is fantastic. So everybody else is doing very well, healthy, happy. They have completely decimated this field that we had grown for a couple months. And so the next goal is to get the fencing done, going out that way and around, so that we can get them out. You can see all of that green behind. That is the next project, the next big project out there to get them back on that, eating that. All right, so probably the last big project we had this week was putting in more fencing. So these panels were taken from the other side of the property, and you can see that this fence line goes out. It will make a right to go all the way out, and that goes all the way out to the barbed wire line, all the way around. So we've separated this out. The barn now has two separate runs for two different pastures. That one, the far side one, goes out to the fence and to the right, or to the left, I guess, on the screen. And then the other one kind of has this big one. So it's got a tree that the goats can lay under. It's got another tree, and they are slowly working out. So this compost that's out there was taken out of the barn last year, and we let it sit out here all winter. It had this lush green around it that the goats have pretty much gone through and eaten as much as they could have. But that will continue to break down and fertilize as water flows, and that it'll fertilize everything else down here and keep this kind of lush and green, which is a good thing. Everything else is kind of dead and done, and we're trying to stretch our hay to the end of the month. so that we can go get some more hay for our yearly allotment. Hopefully, we're keeping an eye on it. Hay's getting scarce already, and it's not even the end of the first cutting. So that's the last bit of big work we did this year. Or I should say week. That's the last big thing we did this week. So hopefully Nikki will get the dome done today, trying to get that done. I've got a couple car things this weekend, so I won't be that much homesteading. Nikki's going to try and do a few things. She's got a rabbit thing Saturday night, and otherwise she's going to keep on going. Every week we're knocking off kind of small things here and there to get things done, and it's great things. Oh, this is exciting. So anyway, we'll see you next time. Sprague Homestead. Happy homesteading.